good morning, and welcome to another show. Today we're talking about the benefits of activated charcoal. I'm excited to dive in and chop it up with you all and help you understand the details and the benefits and the uses. That's it. That's what we're doing. If you're not sure who I am, my name is Drew Tadia, founder and CEO of True Form Life. For the past 20 years, I've been helping women 40 plus increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So if that's you, you have come to the right place. And this is a great product. This is a great product to help with many different areas. So I'm going to dive into that here shortly. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. This is a live recording, which we put on other platforms. We actually just jumped on Spotify as a podcast, and I think one other one, maybe Apple Podcast. But regardless, you could be watching this in different areas or different spots, like our YouTube channel. So thanks again for joining us, and let's dive in. So activated charcoal isn't a new product. It's not something that hasn't been, let's say, it hasn't been researched, it hasn't been used over generations or time. This has been a very old product that has been used holistically in many different ways, in many different eras. It's a huge industry in the East. It's more newer in the West. Sometimes people still haven't really heard about it or used it. And there's a number of different reasons for that. We have a stronger medical system, I would suppose, would probably be fair to say, when natural products, you don't really see natural products as much. Certainly not as apparent as some other cultures. So if that's something, so I guess that, yeah, we have to decide. Like, you probably wouldn't be listening to this, or you wouldn't be interested in more natural products if that wasn't something that was, sorry, you wouldn't be here if that wasn't something of interest. So when it comes to activated charcoal, there's a number of different ways you can use it, but for women in particular, we deal with a lot of women around 40 plus, and they tend to have that minnow belly, which seems to be more natural. Like, it seems to be not natural. That's not what I meant. It seems to be more of the norm. It seems to be just widely accepted that in that menopausal state, you start to have a bit of a belly. And I don't believe that needs to be normal. And there's things that we can do about it to change that in our lives. And one of the things is paying attention to your gut bacteria and making sure that you don't have that, like, that bloat. There's I guess there's a number of different phases. Like, you could have that bloat from inflammation, right? There's a lot of times that we put rancid oils in our body, we put processed food, refined sugar, like that puts our body in an inflamed state. So when that happens, our body is reacting in different ways. So you could have joint pain, you could have lower back pain, you could have digestion issues from constipation to diarrhea. So there's a number of different things that may happen in your life because of what you're putting in your body, and much of that will show on your body in some way. So often we see the minnow belly, and that has become a normalcy in our society, that we just naturally have a minnow belly as we age. And I would argue that doesn't have to be true, or that doesn't necessarily have to be correct if you take different action. So we have the normal, what do they call it, the sedentary type of diet and lifestyle, where we're not so active, we spend hours scrolling, laying around on the couch in the evening. We're just not active. There's so many easy resources, or there's so many easy options for us to not get off the couch and do anything. So that is the type of body that has become more normal and natural because of the type of lifestyle we live, because of the inactivity, and because of the foods, or food-like substances, I like to call, that we put in our body. But if you change that, if you do something different, if you take different actions in your life, then you can see different results. And that's why I like something like activated charcoal. It's a pretty simple fix to help in different ways. Now, I don't believe in magic pills, potions, or powders. I'm not going to tell you that if you start taking activated charcoal or any natural supplement that is going to change your life drastically without taking measurements, like measured steps around it. Supplements are meant to supplement your lifestyle, not to replace anything. So I will say activated charcoal is one of the few supplements I've come across, and one of the few that we sell, who our customers come to us and almost immediately say, oh my gosh, this has been a game changer. Don't like to say that too often, because then people just automatically expect a magic pill, which it is not. But it's not. But I think it's worth mentioning that it does seem to work very quickly for a lot of people. So what is the reason you may be taking activated charcoal? That's why I talked about the minnow belly in particular for women 40 plus, is that if you're bloated because of the choices you've made, and I do think that's important. I know that's a trigger, or that may not be so warm or welcoming for some people to hear, is that like the choices that we've made, I think sometimes like we've in the society we live in now, we've removed all accountability and nothing is our fault. So I think the first step is to help you understand like the decisions that you've made have brought you to the place you are in life right now. So taking the accountability, because if you have that mindset, then you're able to take action to change it. If you're one of those people that nothing's your fault, everything has been put on you, more of a victim state of mind, I don't see the ability to make an adjustment in your life. And a lot of people want that adjustment, or they want to make different changes. They just don't necessarily, they want to see different changes. They don't necessarily want to make the changes or put in the work or effort it takes. So all that being said, if you were to start taking activated charcoal, it will help reduce your menability in addition to taking other actions in your life. So for the activated charcoal in particular, you would take it because you may have indigestion, you may have gas, bloating, you may have the acid reflux. So those are a few different reasons that you could take it. Of course, we just talked about the minnow belly. If you're going to use alcohol, tobacco, sorry, not tobacco. I got caught in, I think I was thinking of, I was thinking about free radicals. So you have antioxidants that fight free radicals. Free radicals are damaging at a cellular level. So that is alcohol, tobacco, energy drinks, refined sugar, processed food. So, but the activated charcoal can actually help protect your liver, because it absorbs alcohol, acts as a poison in our body, and the activated charcoal can absorb that and then flush it out through bowel movements. Otherwise, when we look at something like alcohol that goes through the liver, it needs to be filtered and then processed, which is in part what the liver does, damaging the liver. The more alcohol you put in your system, the more work your liver has to do, and then the more strain it is, which is why alcoholism and liver is so closely linked. Okay, so those are some of the reasons you may take it. Also, you could look at deep fried food or those food-like substances we know we shouldn't be consuming. So if you're going for wing night, like you're drinking beer or wine and wings, for example, that's a great time to take activated charcoal beforehand, and that will give you a better opportunity to protect your gut and intestines and digestion, because there won't be so much damage happening in your body. So that's something worth mentioning. When it comes to other substances in our body, can you grab my phone? I love you too. Working from home. Working from home has its challenges. We'll just take a brief moment here. So, one of the things is I like activated charcoal for emergency purposes. Like if you have this actually happened to one of our neighbors. One of the neighbors, their pet got into some type of mice poison, and they took their dog to the vet, and the first thing the vet did is give them activated charcoal. When my brother was little, he got into my antibiotics, and he He took some of my antibiotics. My mom took him to the hospital. They gave him activated charcoal. I think they gave him activated charcoal on ice cream. Maybe it doesn't matter what the carrier is, but that's something that worth mentioning, because you may need to have that almost as emergency purposes. I'm going to pop in here, see if there's any comments. Here we go. Morning, Tracy. Morning, Trudy. We have Cheryl's in here. Brianne's in here. Nice to see some friendly names. I would see friendly faces, but I can't see you guys. That makes it much easier, because when I was just looking at the camera, it's like you're talking to yourself. You're talking to yourself. So I would look at activated charcoal as almost emergency purposes. If you're not going to take it daily, I would certainly have it regularly. I mean, if you're not going to take it regularly, we suggest taking it daily, which I'll get into in a moment here. But if you're not going to take it regularly, I would suggest taking it, at least having it on hand for emergency purposes. Like, okay, so that could be kids, pets, etc. I'm not recommending that you give that to your pet. I'm saying that you may keep it on hand as an emergency. And if your dog gets into something, you could call your vet and they may say, get activated charcoal, and you have some on hand. If something happens with your kids and you need to take activated charcoal, or it's recommended by your doctor, like, that's definitely an option for you. If you don't have it, it's not. Obviously, it's not an option. If you look at travel, travel-wise, often we're going overseas or we're going somewhere tropical. You often don't know what's in the water, or you don't know how the water's been treated. You may need to use activated charcoal. Like, that's a great opportunity to use activated charcoal on a regular basis, because there's different, like, what it could be. You could be looking at parasites, or you could be looking at I don't want to say poison, but for lack of a better term, like poisonous substances in the water. I would be certainly concerned about that, because like we as a family, we drink a lot of water. We carry around our Berkey everywhere we go, and we know we have filtered water. So that's not on a plane, mind you. You might have to have a different consideration there, but Trudy says used for emergencies too, yes. And Cheryl says, good morning. So yes, there's a number of different purposes. There's a number of different reasons for, I would consider, safety, but also, and so prevention, safety reasons, and then overall health or longevity, right? Like, just think about the damaging things that we put in our body. Like, we're all human. You might go for wings. You might go for wing night. Like that's deep fried food, right? You might grab a bag of chips or some cookies, or you go to the movies and you have some popcorn. Popcorn is a healthy snack, but with the rancid oils they put on it, that fake butter, like, that's not something we should be consuming. I think we all know that. So you have activated charcoal beforehand, so that can help protect your digestion for long term, not just short term, or not just for acute emergency types of purposes. But there's definitely many different ways to take it, or reasons to take it. When we're looking at when to take it, like, so you should definitely take it away from medication, and I wouldn't take it because it's so absorbent, right? It would absorb some of that medication, and then you wouldn't know the proper dosage. I'm not here to talk about medication. Talk to your doctor about that if you're on meds, but I would suggest taking it 1 to 2 hours away from medication, minimum of 1. So we suggest taking it in the evening, right before bed. That's when I take it religiously, like daily, right before bed. And you can take 2 tabs. And if you have any indigestion beforehand, like sometimes, like if I have a bowl of pasta, because it doesn't really agree with me, but I love the taste. If I have a bowl of pasta, I'll have activated charcoal beforehand. Spicy foods, like depending on where you're at, I like spicy foods. Some types of spicy foods give me a little bit of indigestion, so I'll take an activated charcoal beforehand, or I'll just skip on those foods. That's an easy answer, but most people won't, which is understandable. That's why activated charcoal is a great option for you. In most cases, natural supplements taking regularly will offer you the most benefit. When I say regularly, I almost always mean daily. However, if you take activated charcoal only when indigestion pops up or only when you're having alcohol, for example, it can still make a difference. And I'd probably say that's one of the very few that I've come across. Like for example, if you take collagen once a week, probably not a huge benefit there. You take your greens a couple times a week. Like creatine regularly, like if I'm thinking about creatine, like I would suggest like we take that daily, but if you take that 3 times a week before workouts, you would get a benefit, but I would still consider that regularly. Hopefully those examples are helpful, but so the 2 caps before bed is recommendation. But if you're taking medication before bed, you can find different, it's not like you have to take it in the evening. You could find different times during the day where you don't, like I wouldn't take activated charcoal with other supplements, for example, right? You want to absorb as much as those natural, clean, true form supplements as possible. So definitely pay attention to when you're taking it, but like, don't overthink it. You know what the thing is, like a lot of times people will come to me and they'll say, oh, will this product give me that? Like fill in the blank. Is too much magnesium bad? Or if I take too much magnesium, is it going to cause me issues? Like sometimes, like if you have too much magnesium, you can have a little bit of diarrhea. Like it's not that much of a concern when it comes to natural supplements as the regular day-to-day stuff. Like I have people like in terrible fear of natural supplements when they're eating a cheeseburger, or weekly they go out for weekly it's hot dog night, or every night you're binging on processed food. You know, like you're sitting there watching Netflix and you're having a donut and you're having a pastry and you're having a bag of chips, right? And then they're like, I think that natural supplement might cause damage some one way or another. So I think we tend to overthink some things, like because a bag of chips is natural, right? Like it's natural or normal in our society to see them on the shelf and then to probably purchase them, have them in our pantry, or eat them either every night or at least every weekend. So that's become normal, so that's okay. We don't second guess that. But when it comes to a supplement, it's like, I don't know if I should be having a protein powder every day. Like if it's natural and clean, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're buying Popeyes or Costco's or off the discount rack, then I don't know if you should be taking it all, let alone daily. Like there's definitely something. I once heard someone that said something along the lines of taking something is better than nothing, and I'm like, why would you say that? But everyone's an expert these days, right? Like everyone has an opinion, and rightly so. But I think you just have to pay attention to who's saying what and why they're saying it. I was scrolling through my newsfeed and someone held up a bottle of Jameson's vitamin D, and I was like, and they're just like, take this for, I don't know what they said, some nonsense. And then I looked at their page and they had nothing to do with health. Like they were just recommending it to their audience for some reason. I don't know why. And that's not a good quality product. It's not a good quality name brand, and you need K2 with it anyways. So, but I think, and there's nothing wrong with that person sharing. I'm just saying, like so many times someone will come to me and they'll say, hey, I heard this, or what do you think about this? So-and-so said that. And I'm like, you can't possibly believe everything that you see. You're scrolling through your newsfeed and it's like, don't use that. Yes, use that. Like it's too much confusing. That's why it's probably a good time to talk about, we have a workshop coming up, and it's called From Chaos to Calm. And there's so much noise. There's so much nonsense. And I want to help you guys simplify. I want you to build structure in your life. I want to build proper systems so you can stay on track. And it starts with organizing your day, having proper structure, having that mindset of focus, and a little bit of discipline. And I think that a lot of times people struggle with actually having that proper structure, what that day looks like, because a lot of women come to us and it just seems like their life is in chaos. And rightly so. They have a job and a spouse, possibly, and a kid or 4, and finances, and it's endless. This is our life. Like this is become normal for us to be overwhelmed and stressed out. And then of course, cortisol levels are through the roof. We're not eating the right foods, so serotonin levels are out of whack. So we're not having vitamin D. Like all these are hormones I'm mentioning, and it's just a giant mess. So I feel like we have a good opportunity to do some real training. That's coming up on January 21st, and 7 p.m. I'm excited about it. We have a link. If you guys want the link to sign up, you can sign up. We'll send out the link. It's going to be over Zoom, and I'm excited. It's going to be one of our pillars in our new program, Sovereign Strength System, and it's exciting. I'm very excited about a new path and a new journey, and I feel like we've come into a different place in our lives, and we want to share that with others that are in a similar situation. So the group isn't for everyone. Not everyone will be accepted in. We're in a very different phase in life, and I'm clear on the types of people that I want to work with and that we can actually help, which isn't everyone. And that's okay, because there's many experts out there that can be chosen to follow if you choose, or if you're looking for that type of individual. Activate Charcoal can be found on our website. This month is 20% off. It's our featured product. If you want the coupon code, just comment below and we'll send it over. And most of our distributors, I think Tracy is or was in here. She's in Red Deer. She's one of our distributors. Tracy, do you have Activate Charcoal? I'm not sure if you do, but on our website, you can look at where our distributors are. If you want to find someone close to you, you can order our products on trueformlife.com/shop. And if you want to check out our new group, reach out and I'll send you the link. It's a private link. Otherwise, the workshop is coming up the 21st, so I think it's going to be fantastic. Put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's going to be real actionable steps of things that you can do immediately and take action towards and see results from. So that's going to be awesome. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining. Morning, Vanda. I'm just wrapping up here. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, let us know. I think Tracy does. Awesome. So Tracy has Activated Charcoal. If you're in the Red Deer, Sylvan area, she can hook you up. But otherwise, I'd jump on Activated Charcoal. Start taking. I didn't mention ours is a little bit different. Ours is from coconut. Most Activated Charcoal you find is from wood-derived products, and then ours is organic as well. And we have way more per bottle, and then we have way more per cap. I think ours are 250 milligrams than what you'll see as a norm in the industry. And then also most of the time we see powders. These are caps. So I strongly feel like our product is superior in my biased opinion. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your day. And we'll see you sometime, probably online in the future. Take care.